Newly released Epstein case files reveal how sacred cloth from the Kaaba in Mecca was shipped all the way to Jeffrey Epstein's Florida home, raising disturbing questions about how such an object ended up with a convicted sex offender. The documents detail a 2017 shipment of multiple Kaaba Kiswa pieces to Epstein, arranged while he was already a registered sex offender in the United States. Email correspondence shows that contacts linked to the United Arab Emirates organized the air freight of the sacred cloth from Saudi Arabia to the US, handling everything from routing to delivery. The Kiswa is the iconic black and gold embroidered cloth that covers the Kaaba, the cubic structure at the center of Islam's holiest mosque in Mecca. Each year the Kiswa is removed and replaced, and sections of the old cloth become rare religious artifacts highly prized by collectors and donors across the Muslim world. According to Middle East Eye, the files show 3 separate Kiswa-linked pieces were shipped by air from Saudi Arabia to Florida for Epstein. The emails include coordination on invoices, customs paperwork, freight routing via British Airways, and final delivery arrangements inside the United States. The shipment reportedly arrived at Epstein's residence in March 2017, years after he had served jail time and registered as a sex offender. The emails show Emirati businesswoman Aziza Al-Amodi taking the lead in arranging the shipment, acting as the main point of contact on Epstein's side and with suppliers in Saudi Arabia. Al-Amodi worked closely with a man named Abdullah Al-Mari, coordinating routes, carriers, and handling instructions to ensure the pieces traveled from Mecca to Florida without delays. The correspondence does not explain how Al-Amodi initially became connected to Epstein, leaving a major gap in understanding who brought her into his network. Nor do the files clarify why these sacred Kiswa fragments were sent specifically to Epstein, or what was promised or expected in return. In total, 3 distinct Kiswa-related pieces were arranged for shipment to the United States in early 2017, each with different origins and descriptions attached. One of the most sensitive items is described as having come from inside the Kaaba itself, meaning it was once part of the inner lining of Islam's holiest structure. A second piece was taken from the outer Kiswa that had physically covered the Kaaba, already imbued with immense symbolic and devotional significance. A third section was made from the same fabric and design as the main Kiswa but had never actually been mounted on the shrine, functioning instead as a spare or presentation cloth. In the paperwork, the unused piece was described as artwork to ease customs classification and clearance when entering the United States. The emails by Aziza Al-Amodi stated, and I quote, "The black piece was touched by minimum 10 million Muslims of different denominations. They kept prayers, wishes, tears and hopes on this piece for acceptance." Unquote. Other emails show Al-Amodi checking on Epstein's well-being after Hurricane Irma struck the Caribbean, hitting his private island of Little St. James in 2017. Epstein's secretary replied that everyone on the island was safe, though structures, trees, docks, and roads had suffered heavy damage, according to Middle East Eye. In the same document dump, a declassified FBI memo alleged that Epstein had worked with both US and Israeli intelligence services, adding another layer of intrigue. The memo claimed Epstein was close to former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak and maintained ties at the highest levels of Israeli politics. It further suggested Epstein was trained as a spy, though it offered no detailed evidence or operational examples to support that assertion. Taken together, these claims deepen the controversy around Epstein's global network of contacts, tying sacred objects, Gulf intermediaries, and alleged intelligence links into a single, troubling story.